Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the next edition of Monday Night Live. This version of Monday Night Live is going to be called the Battle of the Shirts. We both tried to wear the most inflammatory, braggadocious,
See, at least I look country.
loud shirt we could possibly
I
wear.
don't know what to call you.
I need to know in the comments who won, who's got the craziest. Oh, now that's cheating. That's not even a shirt. We are going to be answering your questions about health and nutrition. I am Dr. Ken Berry. I'm a board certified licensed family physician, been practicing for many years. And this is Amanda Decker, family nurse practitioner. You've been practicing as long as me.
Many years, yeah.
Many years.
Well, I think you got me beat by like 2.
Yeah. So she has a practice in Dixon, Tennessee. And about once a month, she'll come up and we will do a Monday Night Live together. And it's always lots of fun. So hang out and listen. If you've got questions, we definitely want to answer those. If you have questions about nutrition, medications, medicine, diseases, any of that kind of stuff is fair game. We're not going to talk about politics, religion, or sex.
Are you sure?
I mean, maybe, but probably not. We really don't want to go there. We probably are going to talk about poop.
Probably. We always do.
We talk about poop every time. And so kick back, relax, invite a friend to join us, because if we answer one person's question, that's going to answer that question for lots of people. At least that's in my experience. How you doing?
I'm doing.
Did you see patients today?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Had some good cases?
I did. Some complicated stuff. You know, which is something I think it's worth mentioning. And I was thinking about this on the drive up is I had a lot of patients today. Well, when I say a lot, like 3 or 4.
Yep.
Which is honestly how many your provider should be seeing because they're spending time with you kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But each one today was really frustrating because they've been working really hard on honing things in nutrition wise and trying to do the right things lifestyle, but it wasn't taking care of the underlying thing. Like depression wasn't all the way gone or the sugar wasn't perfect. And they were just very frustrated.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's good for us to acknowledge every once in a while is that
No, I
sometimes
totally
you can
agree.
do every single thing.
Totally
It's just
agree.
not going to fix 100%.
If you're not a healthcare provider, if you're just a person with a job and a spouse and a dog, it took you decades to get in the condition you're currently in. And we were all kind of raised in a sitcom society where, oh, there's a big problem. Oh, we do these few things. Oh, it's better in 30 minutes or an hour. And real life, that she ain't like that.
No.
Real life is like, yeah, we'll get there when we get there. And you'll like it and you won't throw a fit. But sometimes you get frustrated and you're just like, dang it. Now I'm doing everything right. Why am I not completely healed in a month?
Or even sometimes a couple of years.
Yeah. And depending on what the condition is, depending on how long you've had it, it can take years to completely reverse something. Yeah. And I know it's very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
And for somebody the patient's the one doing the suffering.
Yeah.
We always have to remember that as providers. I get to go home. I don't have that. But they got that. They're living with it. And so I totally understand it. I totally get it.
So we hear you.
We
That's
hear
what we're
you.
saying.
Jeff Palmer says, hit the like, hit the heart, hit the share button right now. There are people that have never heard of the proper human diet.
Wow.
Millions of people have never heard of this because you haven't hit the share button yet and shared this on your favorite social media. All the average common sense person needs is about 5 minutes of listening to this. And they tend to go, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe I'll look into this. And that's all we're asking you to do is give us 5 minutes with a friend or a loved one. And I think that we can improve their health. Absolutely. So now if you've got a question, type it in the comments, just like you type in hi, howdy, or how you do. And we will answer your questions. Now, YouTube won't let you type a paragraph. You got to keep it pretty short. If you want to bump your question to the top, you can include it in a super chat, but that's absolutely not necessary. We take questions from all comers. Okay, here is from Susan. Are THC vapes, I think the kids call them dab pens. Is that right?
I'm not popular.
Are they loaded with pesticides?
They're loaded with a lot.
Maybe. Here's the problem with vapes in general that make me very, very nervous. First of all, if you're smoking cigarettes, please stop that. That's dumb as hell. Okay, it's super bad for you. This has been proven as closely as anything can be proven with epidemiological research. The hazard ratio sometimes 20 or 30, which means that's probably really bad. Okay, now I'd much rather you vape than smoke cigarettes, but I'd much rather you do neither. But if you're currently a cigarette smoker, or if you're smoking doobies the old-fashioned way, please switch to a vape, please. Okay, inhaling the smoke from the burning leaves of any plant is uniformly bad for you. All animals know this. All animals will run from fire, won't they? It's like it's built in. They're just got common sense. They know, don't breathe the smoke. But humans somehow, if we make something sexy or glamorous, then all of a sudden, well, yeah, common sense be damned, I'm going to inhale it.
Yeah.
Now, THC dab pens. Where is this dab pen made? My guess is it's made in China. Like virtually all vapes are made in China. Now, do you believe in your heart of hearts that the Chinese company that's making these vapes or these dab pens, these THC vapes, do you think they have your best interest at heart? Do you think if they could cut a corner and save a nickel, that might hurt you a little bit, but it's not going to kill you quickly? Do you think they would do that in a second? 100% yes. I'm very, very skittish about vapes and dab pens and THC vapes just because they're all made in China. And they don't give a damn about your health. They don't care if they give you popcorn lung or emphysema, COPD. They don't care about any of that, because that's 20 years from now. And so they're like, you can't sue me for that. Also, you can't find me because I'm in another country. So, yeah, I wouldn't blindly trust inhaling stuff like that unless I knew where it was made and who made it. And still, it's probably, I mean, if it comes from marijuana, they sprayed the marijuana with pesticides to keep bugs from eating it, because bugs like to get high too. Okay, so yeah. And do you think they get each leaf down and wash it very thoroughly with a little scrub-a-dub? No, they don't do that. Okay, it's probably got pesticides if it comes from the marijuana plant. Now, many of the THC vapes, they just chemically formulate the THC, and there's no marijuana injured in the making of it. So, but it just makes me, somebody said, grow your own, but you're still inhaling the smoke from the leaves of a burning plant. I don't recommend that at all.
I think it was Dr. Bickman that did a video on a study that looked at vaping and increasing insulin resistance. It just correlated 100%. The two together.
Especially if it's got a sweet flavor, like if it's cinnamon, raspberry, apple, strudel, toast crunch. Yeah, that sweet taste is going to raise your insulin. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. All right, here's Carl. Carl says, Judy, 80-year-old friend, recent memory loss, history of AFib, Crohn's, was in hospital for 14 days for a pacemaker. Surgery delayed for severe iron deficiency, no appetite, lost 15 pounds. Advice for spouse Richard. Where would you start?
So
she's 80 and had a bunch of stuff happen to her while she's in the
all
hospital.
That nutritional deficiency there from the Crohn's, the years of Crohn's, not being able to absorb things.
And probably eating a crap diet on top of the Crohn's.
I start with going as basic as I can. So adding broth to the diet, eliminating as much junk food as possible. Maybe not obviously to most people, but I think carnivore would be a great approach here to help heal the gut, so then you can get your nutrients that you need. But that might be a little hard to enforce in this particular situation. So we'll start where you can, getting rid of the junk and adding a lot of broth in.
Bone broth, scrambled eggs. A lot of people can tolerate that very well. Most people think, I don't know why they think this, but most people think that meat is very hard for your body to digest and absorb, when the exact opposite is actually true. And so in many cases, minced beef or ground beef, just small portions of that to get started, is a great option right here. The thing you don't want to do is the brat diet. Bananas, rice, applesauce, toast, that's junk. She needs nutritional density. She does not need
bulking agents.
Yeah. That's not going to help her at all. But we got to get some nutrition in her. And then obviously she's got to follow up with all of her doctors. I'm sure she has more than one, but I think the scrambled egg and ground beef diet would help the Crohn's tremendously. and also get the nutrition in her, help her gain some weight back, and get her body strong enough to start trying to fight the other stuff as well. Yeah. Here's Bryn Games. Went to the ER. Doc detected AFib. Says I need to be on meds forever. True or get a second opinion? Went in for gallstones. Heart is strong normally. So you can have a very strong heart and still have AFib.
Yeah.
Also, AFib is not always permanent. AFib can come and go. It can be paroxysmal. It can be temporary. Many things can cause AFib, from electrolyte abnormalities to an aberrant conduction pathway. There's so many things that can cause it, depending on which type you have. And you're probably not going to know exactly which type you have until you see an electrophysiologist, which is basically a cardiologist that did an extra 1 year fellowship in the electrical conductivity of the heart. And then you'll know exactly what kind you have. Then you'll know, do you need to be on medication for life, or can a simple medical procedure fix it? Or is it temporary and it's gone now? Because that happens very many times, especially being in ketosis seems to be very therapeutic for AFib. And so if you can eat low carb enough to stay in ketosis, that's going to help. It may not fix it, but it's going to help. Anything you'd add to?
Well, just, a lot of people are bringing up AFib that I'm seeing. When I started practice 20 years ago, maybe 1 or 2 cases in my clinic of AFib. And now it's like so prominent. I don't know if it is our lifestyle of chronic stress and going, or the nutrition, but it's.
Now, AFib was relatively rare 20 years ago. I mean, you saw it, but it wasn't like 5 cases a day. That is interesting. I'll have to study on that. Here's Nana C. Thanks to your advice, I recently had my free T3 and T4 checked. Currently, TSH is 6.18. It's a little high. Free T4 is 1.38. Free T3 is 1.9. Should I add zinc to my regimen? Do I need to see an endocrinologist or wait it out? What say you, Amanda Decker?
That zinc would be the first thing that I would go for. I usually think more iodine, selenium when I'm thinking about thyroid. And then also nutrition, what's left in there that could be causing inflammation that's not making your thyroid work correctly.
Yep, I totally agree. The mitochondria and the thyroid are going to function better in ketosis. So I would definitely eat as low carb as possible. Make sure you're getting adequate iodine and selenium each and every day. And make sure you've gotten a full thyroid panel, because currently we do not know, and you do not know, and your doctor does not know if you have Hashimoto's or not. You might. We don't know. You need those labs checked. Also, do you have a reverse T3 problem? We don't know, because they didn't check that, or at least you didn't tell me. So I'll tell you, I want your take on this. When I was in medical school, I thought endocrinologists were the demigods of medicine. I thought those guys are like the nerds.
They're below surgeons.
They are, oh my God, they're so smart, right? But when I got into practice, the specialty that disappointed me the most often was endocrinology. Is that your experience?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't understand what happens. I don't know if they drink the Kool-Aid or if they get lazy, but it's like, all an endocrinologist knows is, oh, you've got low thyroid, you need Synthroid. That's it. The end. We're not checking.
Protocol. They just follow the protocol of the medicine.
They follow the algorithm, which is something a monkey could do. Okay. It's definitely something AI could do. So I don't understand how they go from these. I remember the endocrinology fellow. I was like, oh my God, she's so smart. Oh my God. I feel like a moron. I don't even want to talk to her. She's so smart. But now when they get out and practice, it's like, I don't know if they're handcuffed and they can't. I don't understand it, but it's very disappointing. So I'm not sure endocrinology is the right answer for you. If you don't have a copy of Common Sense Labs, you might get that off Amazon. It's got the full thyroid panel listed in it. And then a bunch of other labs you might want to get checked as well that the endocrinologists often either don't even recommend, or if you bring it up, they're like, oh, you don't need that. You don't need that.
Well, and in their defense, it's not going to fit their treatment algorithm. They're not going to change their treatment based off of the reverse T3. They're going to not, or the free T3. They're just going to give you the same Synthroid.
You're going to get Synthroid, and that's it. So why check all that other stuff? Nobody cares if you have Hashimoto's, evidently.
They're not going to change what they do.
No, that's totally true. That's totally true, which is so disappointing Because you would think when it comes to hormones, thyroid, adrenals, you would think, oh, endocrinology, they're going to know stuff and do stuff and check stuff that no primary care doctor. No, not really. Not really.
Well, hey, but you know what? If she's in one of 23 states, there is this person she could see.
So Amanda Decker is licensed in 23 states.
Don't ask me to name them. I'm not going to do it.
You can have those memorized. So you know them all. Okay.
They're on my website.
Yeah, you can go to clearpathmedical.net
Yeah.
and see if she's licensed in your state, and you can do a virtual consult with her, and she can help you get the right labs checked, and then also talk to you about the supplements and the electrolytes, the minerals, the vitamins, and other stuff. Absolutely. What is this? Bring Games. Is net carbs marketing hype? Yes. Yes, it is. Am I lying to myself? Eating an avocado that has 17 carbs, but only 4 net carbs. Yes, you are lying to yourself. 100%. You need to count total carbs.
Or just don't eat them.
Yeah. And so if you're going to try to be keto, you've got to count total carbs, okay? Because all of the food manufacturers, they know keto is popular. And they're going to make keto bread. And right on the label on the front, it's going to say keto. And it's going to say only fill in the blank net carbs. You have to flip it over and read the fine print to be like, oh, it's got 45 grams of total carbs. What the hell? Yeah. So if you're keto, if you're low carb, if you're ketovore, you got to count total carbs. And it's Brent, I think you've been with us for a while. I think you should know that. I think that this was wishful thinking on your part. You're just more
every once in a while we kick our little feet and we want it.
100%,
We want it. Now that's not to say a half avocado won't fit into his daily diet.
Exactly right. But if you're trying to be ketovore, avocado plays a part in that. If you're carnivore, obviously avocado does not have a heartbeat. It's not an animal. But even keto, I knew people back when keto was super popular. They'd eat 5 or 6 big avocados, those big Hass.
Maybe if you're really killing it working out a ton.
Right. But I mean, they would literally eat 80 grams a day in carbs from just avocados. And they're like, oh no, avocados don't have. I'm like, yeah, honey, yeah, they do. And it's actually not a lot of fiber. It's mainly complex carbs and simple carbs, and it breaks right down into sugar. And so you might as well just eat a jelly donut. Sorry. Yeah, true story. Mark, what would you say to my aunt who I got to carnivore 1 year ago? A1C is 54. You guys
maybe
must be
5.4.
Well, they may be in the Europe or UK. I don't know. Maybe. But her fasting insulin, which she had to get independently, is 34. See these numbers. I'm afraid this is UK, EU. Fatty liver and LIPR of 89. Thank you, love supporter. Mark, I don't know if you meant 5.4. If you did, it's great. But I think you're talking about EU numbers, international measurements. And I don't have my conversion chart, so I can't convert that. I'm sorry. And then also the fasting insulin 34. I don't know what the conversion is. I'm very sorry about that. She needs her A1C to be under 5.6 after you do the American calculation, and her fasting insulin needs to be 10 or less. And then you know you're on the right track. She may be, if you think she's carnivore, but her numbers are still high, she may have some Oreo cookies hidden in the garage or in her desk drawer at work. A lot of people do that just to make a loved one happy. They'll eat carnivore at home. And then as soon as they get out of the house, they're like, okay, now what am I going to eat?
Or there could be an underlying issue, like some cortisol issues, something like that, Cushing's. I've found so many cases of that recently where swear they're eating exactly like they're telling me they're eating that. Find out their cortisol's out there.
Yep, absolutely. Here is JM, 40-year-old male, Crohn's for 23 years, no meds past year, just fine. Had shoulder surgery, NSAIDs, flared it, went on antibiotics and budesonide, day 5 line diet meds, diarrhea still present. Is that normal? After 5 days, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it unless you feel like you're literally diarrheaing yourself to dehydration. You can drink more than you can poop out. It should clear up and go away in a few days. Yeah, make sure you're getting electrolytes. Make sure you're getting plenty of salt. Make sure you're eating until you're comfortably stuffed. And then at 2 weeks, if you still got not just loose stool, because that's not really diarrhea, but if you're having liquid diarrhea, see your doctor after 2 weeks. Bearded Talk. I wonder if that's a YouTube channel where everybody has a beard. I would fit in there. You would not.
Well, I'm kind of happy about that.
54-year-old male with a CAC of 65, so a coronary artery calcium score of 65. What is your treatment plan? Cardiology put me on 5 Crestor and daily 81 milligram aspirin. That's not a terrible strategy. Some people add a little bit of Zetia to that. You're 54. I don't think a CAC score of 65 is oh my God. If you're 54,
but you don't want to continue to see it go
Right.
up, and so they probably need to give you more information.
Yeah, we would need more information, and I definitely am not going to give you a treatment plan because I'm not your doctor, but I would answer your question if you have more questions. I would definitely repeat the CAC scan in 12 months to see what's going on. I would keep your diet very, very strict, proper human diet over the next 12 months. Here's Drew. Been seeing a lot of hype for creatine lately. Any fact, or is that just a fad? So creatine is very important. Creatine does hundreds and hundreds of good things in your body. Now, I think the question you meant to ask is, do I need a creatine supplement? That's the question most people have, because that's what's really hot and hypey right now is you need a creatine supplement. I do not take a creatine supplement because the amount of meat I eat each day, I get about 7 grams of creatine a day. And so I'm happy with that. I don't have any problems, and I think that's fine. But I think there are some conditions where people might need a creatine supplement. What have you seen in your practice?
So yes, especially ladies that have been almost they are sarcopenic, so their muscle mass has dwindled down, helps to rebuild, or someone who's had a chronic illness and has lost a lot of their muscle mass, we may add that. Now, I actually do take creatine.
You do?
I do. I started it about 30 days ago with a more consistent workout routine, and I can see a difference. It's not like, ooh, magical,
right.
But I can see a difference. And I will say sometimes I struggle to get as much protein as I need in a day.
And that's very common, especially for older women, not counting you. Older women sometimes just can't eat enough meat to get enough creatine from the meat. And so, yeah, I think especially if they're very sarcopenic, meaning they've lost a lot of muscle mass, I think if you've got osteopenia or osteoporosis and you're just not able to eat as much meat as you should, I think a creatine supplement could be very important. But the vast majority of people, if they're just here to lose weight and reverse type 2 diabetes, you don't need a creatine supplement. You just need to eat your meat. But there are specific instances where I think it's very therapeutic.
And it's been well studied
100%.
As being fairly safe. So it's one of those things, if you wanted to try it, is it going to hurt anything?
No, if you've got the money, you're not going to harm yourself by taking a creatine supplement. I totally agree with that. Jennifer, 68-year-old, testosterone is 7, insomnia, heart disease, osteopenia, weak muscles, thinning hair, yet PCP says that you are too old to be concerned with your hormones. Which ones should I get tested? Now, let's break this apart. First of all, this really pisses me off. I'm 56 and you're in your late 30s.
Yeah.
Do you feel, when you were 17, you would look at your current self and be like, God, she's old.
Yeah.
When I was 17, I look at me now and be like, dude is a dust farter. He's so old, right? But now at 56, I'm telling you, I'm not old. You're not old. No, we're not old. And I think when I get to be 68, I will also continue to believe I'm not old. What do you mean? I think you're old when you're ready to get in the pine box and lay down and be still. Yeah. That's when you're too old to get your hormones optimized. That's my opinion. If you want to have energy, if you want to have motivation, get up and go, drive, sex drive, or other drives. If you want to sleep well, if you want to have better hair, better skin, less pain in the panty area with bedroom activities, get your testosterone fixed. Your doctor, Jennifer, is one of those old school doctors who's like, oh no, the Women's Health Initiative showed blah, blah, blah. That shit was all debunked 10 years ago. Any doctor who's doing the reading knows better than this. Now you're actively doing hormone optimization. So chime in here and help Jennifer understand what's going on.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say it's not just your testosterone. The sleep
Correct.
is probably coming more from the progesterone, and your estrogen also plays a big role in all that. So it's the trifecta of all of them together. We don't have all the information here as well, because say you've been menopausal for 10 years, you've not had any of these symptoms, and then all of a sudden they've kicked in. What else has changed?
Right.
Is it actually a thyroid issue or some other type of issue that's not just the hormones, or another issue that's making the hormones worse? There's a lot of different ways to kind of skin that cat. But
Totally agree. But you need your total testosterone check. You need your estradiol check.
your
You
free
need
testosterone.
progesterone, free testosterone. Do you typically check a sex hormone binding
do.
globulin? Okay.
And DHEAS.
And a DHEA-S, yes, and that's an adrenal hormone, but it's directly involved in the production of your sex hormones. And find a doctor who will do that. A good trick to do that is to just do an internet search for BHRT near me, and usually it's a medium size or larger city. They'll have 1 or 2 or 3 docs. She's in Dixon, Tennessee, and she does it. She cannot do that remotely because there's a technical issue with getting the pellets in over the internet.
Well, no, just don't do pellets. But the issue is actually the testosterone. So testosterone is
It's
a
also
controlled
scheduled, yeah,
substance. And so
You
while
have
I
to be
could
in
treat your
person.
progesterone and estrogen, I could not directly do the testosterone.
Right. Now, if somebody, say, lives in Kentucky,
Yeah.
you're licensed there.
I am licensed there.
If they travel to Tennessee and see you,
Mhm.
you can do their testosterone and other hormones.
Yes, they have to fill the prescription in Tennessee,
In
though, because
Tennessee,
that's the only
yeah.
place that
Gotcha.
has to control.
Gotcha. Okay, good deal. But yeah, Jennifer, every symptom you've got is at least partially related to your low hormones. You need to find a doctor who'll fix that for you. Absolutely. Jonathan, diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, stage 2 from hypertension. I feel better on carnivore, but noticed increased protein in my urine, whereas it was trace. Should I continue? What do you think?
I think you should.
I think you should.
Mhm.
I think you should pay careful attention to your creatinine level and your eGFR in your blood work. Those are 2 kidney function tests in your blood. The protein can go from trace to 1+ to 2+, back to 1+, back to trace in your urine. I wouldn't put a lot of stock in that, but I would carefully monitor the creatinine and the eGFR. Notice I didn't say anything about the BUN.
I know.
Yeah, BUN very often goes up in meat eaters, or if you drink less water than you normally drink. There's lots of things that'll make your BUN be slightly elevated. I'm not really concerned about that. What else would you say?
They could check a cystatin C as well, just if you want
Cystatin C.
another measurement, but
Mhm.
also really push those fluids, because your kidneys are already a little stressed out, and when you're carnivore, they're going to get stressed out. At least the beginning, the transition phase, a little bit more stress.
Yeah. So if you're thirsty, drink. Don't not drink if you're thirsty, and repeat your labs every 3 months while you're watching this. But Amanda and I both have seen hundreds of people start out with stage 2 CKD and go back to stage 1, or even go back to normal kidney function. It's super common on a meat-heavy keto diet, or ketovore or carnivore. And so that's why, really, the selfish reason I want you to recheck your labs every 3 months is because 3, 6, or 9 months from now, you're going to have stage 1 CKD, and you're gonna be like, what the hell? And then you can just say thank you by sharing a video or something. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Denise is next. I have been carnivore for 5 years. In the last 6 months, my eGFRs went from normal to up to 27. No, from normal down to 27. Doctor's trying to say I'm overloading kidneys with protein. Well, you've been carnivore for 5 years, so you've been eating lots of protein this entire time. So it doesn't stand to reason that it's just now starting to happen. This makes me worry about something else going on in the background. Maybe a smoldering pyelonephritis, or just a nephritis, or some other kidney issue that is as of yet undiagnosed. What would you do with Denise? How would you work this up?
So So I want to know the rest of the lab panel too,
Yeah,
the
of course,
creatinine, because I've
yes.
seen several cases where the creatinine's actually okay, and the creatinine's often it has to do more with the BUN and
Yep.
calculations to
Yep,
get there and
yep.
things of that nature. But that's when I definitely would do the cystatin C, and I get the full urinalysis. I would go ahead and do a culture on your urine,
100%.
regardless if it looked clear when I dipped it in the office or not. And
Yep.
I might even get an ultrasound of the kidney.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I would image those kidneys. I would be looking for other causes because it makes no sense that your kidney function was great for 5 years and now all of a sudden it's not. It just went to shit. Over the course of a week or a month or something. That's weird. There's something else going on there that needs to be investigated. Oh, here's Chris Cook in Nashville.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris. Neurodivergent brain, no meds, regulated with carnivore animal fat for brain. Thank you both for helping me save my own life. You guys rock. You also rock. If you guys want excellent carnivore recipes, carnivore cooking tips, keto recipes, ketovore recipes, check out Chris Cooking Nashville. I promise you'll be happy that you did. Chris is not that good looking, but his wife is beautiful, so it'll be worth it. And she's in the videos very often. Love you,
Chris. I need
love
more
you, Chris.
biscuits.
Yeah. Oh, she needs some more keto carnivore biscuits.
Yeah.
Carnivore biscuits. You're like, wait, what? Yeah, there's such a thing as carnivore biscuits. So check out Chris Cooking Nashville. Matthew, how do antipsychotics work with doing carnivore? I made 55 days last time, but I went to get the point where I feel amazing from eating meat. Do the tabs prevent this? I'm reading Dr. Eads' book at the moment too. Beautiful. Read Dr. Georgia Eads' book, Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind, and Dr. Chris Palmer's book called Brain Energy. Anybody with a mental health issue, you need to read both those books. You can also listen to them. They're on Audible. And most antipsychotics, at least one of their side effects is they cause your insulin to go up, your blood sugar to go up, your cortisol to go up. Not all of them, but most of them, really. And they will absolutely tend to make you gain weight, gain fats. And so what most people on carnivore do after they've been on it for a few months, they've gotten stabilized, is they'll have a conversation with the mental health care provider and they'll say, hey, I want to try to slowly wean these meds down and see if I still need this high of a dose. And very often they're able to cut the dose in half and still do just fine. In many cases, they keep weaning down till they're not even taking one or more, and their mental health is still great because now their brain's running on ketones. They don't have all the sugar spikes and the insulin spikes, and they don't have the inflammation anymore.
I don't got anything to add.
Okay. All right. Here's Bill. Hey, Bill, 61-year-old male, statins for 20 years, stopped 6 months ago. Been keto for a year, CAC score 0, total cholesterol 278, HDL 40, trigs 119, LDL 212. LDL small is 596, LDL medium 667, HDL large 6338. Small LDL level a concern. What do you say?
We need the total particle count to really evaluate whether or not that small number is a concern. I generally like to see it under 23% of your total LDL particle count. So if you do the calculation, taking your total particle count are you 23% or less?
Yep, there you go, Bill. There's your answer. Also, I very much care about your A1C level and your fasting insulin level and your HSCRP. Your HDL is still a little on the low side and your trigs are normal, but a little higher than I'd like for them to be. So I'd like those other labs as well. Hank, 28-year-old female, carnivore for 1 year. LP little a was 205, LDL 585, HDL 78. Triglyceride 69. I'm afraid about my LP little a. Doctor said statin is a must, also to avoid saturated fats. What can she do?
She can keep eating carnivore.
100%. There's not a shred of research that shows that healthy saturated animal fat is in any way bad for you if you have a high LP little a or a low LP little a or normal LP little a. LP little a, in my opinion, is a very fattish, very popular thing to talk about right now. I think it's going to go the way of TMAO. Remember that? Remember TMAO? Oh, your TMAO. it was complete horseshit. But plant-based doctors and cardiologists love to scare people with that. I think LP little a is just like that. Now, if you have LP little a, I think the research is fairly clear that you're probably at a little bit increased risk for dementia later in life. That's probably true. But not eating red meat is not going to protect you or lower your risk of dementia. There's no research that supports that. What else?
Just make sure everything else around it is good, like the inflammatory markers. And
Yeah. So let's say any of you guys, you've got a high LP little a. You're positive for that. Okay. So what do you do to combat that? First of all, you are allergic to ultra processed sugar added junk food for the rest of your life. Literally, if your birthday, I don't give a damn. No, you don't get that. If you want to lower your risk of dementia as low as you can, no. Alcohol, hell no, never, not another drop. Vegetable seed oils, I would highly recommend against. Let's not do that. Let's eat a strict, proper human diet as you possibly can. And let's live a proper human life, which means get your ass out of the lazy boy, off the couch. Let's go move, and let's move every day. Let's get out in the sun and go for a walk. Let's start doing a little jump rope, a little rebounding. Let's join the gym if you got the money. If you don't got the money, you can go out in the backyard and lift 2 cinder blocks. I don't care. It doesn't have to be sexy, but I need to get your heart pumping. I need you to build muscle and build bone. Those all send signals to your brain to keep your brain younger. Everything I just said. What else would you add?
Environmental toxins. So,
okay, beautiful.
Don't cook in plastics and filter your water, things like that.
100%, yes. And then what about managing stress? Do you think that plays a role in dementia? Yeah, absolutely. And you can't, people are like, you got to get the stress out of your life. Does that piss you off when you hear that? Like some 25-year-old influencer on Instagram, you got to get rid of that stress. What are you talking about? If I lived in my mother's basement, maybe I could get rid of the stress.
I lived there for 6 months or 9 months when I built my house. It was stressful.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Loved it, appreciate it.
You can't get rid of the stress if the stress is your spouse or your job or your kids or your dog or your whatever. You've got to learn to cope with the stress and manage it in a healthy way. And you might be sitting there going, oh yeah, easier said than done. No, actually, you can do it. It's just like making a muscle stronger. When you first start, the muscle's very weak, and you like, I can never do this. You keep practicing, and before long, that thing that used to just stress you out and shoot your cortisol sky high, you're like, I don't even care. No. Whatever.
Just start somewhere.
I promise you can do this. Yes, please try. Please practice. Thank you, Donald. Kevin says been carnivore for 5 months, started at 235 pounds, now down to 205 pounds. Huzzah. A1C was 9, which is terrible. Now his A1C is 5.7. He's 1/10 of a point from being completely normal. But I feel like I've hit a stop at the weight loss. What can I do to lose more weight? What are your go-to recommendations? He didn't tell us how long his stall.
Well, he's only been at this for 5 months.
Right.
So I don't know that I'd call it a stall yet.
This is a weight loss pause.
Yeah, you shocked the heck out of your body the last 5 months. It's like, what are you doing to me? You just made me lose all this weight. Are you starving me? Are we going to keep this up? Am I getting healthier? So this is just your body figuring out. So be patient.
Yep.
And give it some more time.
This is much more common in women on average, but some men, after they've lost a chunk of weight, their body will be like, whoa, put the brakes on. And you'll sit there for a few weeks or a month or 2 or even 3 months, and then it'll start up again. Okay. And I don't know, you didn't tell me how tall you are, so I can't guesstimate an ideal body weight for you, but I'm assuming 205, you still got 20, 30, 40 pounds to lose. If so, just keep doing exactly what you've been doing. Try to get a little bit stronger and a little bit faster every month. So however strong you are right now, however fast you are, at the end of next month, I want you to be a little stronger, a little faster, and just keep repeating that while eating your carnivore diet. And I think you're going to find that not only does the fat loss start back up again, which is what you meant by weight loss, but also body recomposition is going to keep happening in the background. You're going to have stronger bones, and you're going to have more sexy, strong, buffy muscles. And all that stuff weighs on the scale just like fat. So don't forget that. in the end of the day, when you get close to your ideal body weight, what really matters is how your blue jeans fit, because that's body composition. That's what that tells you. Not so much the weight. Very often people get so tore up about that last 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds. And I'm like, those jeans you're wearing right now, could you even begin to wear those a year ago? And they're like, oh, hell no. I'm like, shut up. You're winning. Just be happy and thankful this day because you're winning. Good questions tonight. Jennifer, can liposuction for stage 3 lipedema help reduce peripheral neuropathy symptoms? I haven't read any research that would imply that liposuction
relieve the pressure, I guess, off the distal nerves
temporarily.
But that is correct.
Like, what's the research? 80% of the time, the liposuction fat comes back.
Yeah, but for lipedema, it's
maybe. I'm behind on my reading on this research. Let me just say, I wouldn't bet the farm on liposuction, but there may be new research I'm not aware of. And if you're aware of some new research, definitely post it and tag me in it. I'll check it out. But I'm not aware that liposuction is really going to ring the bell for your lipedema.
Well, and especially for her symptom of the peripheral neuropathy. I mean, you relieve the pressure, it's still going to take the nerve time to heal. And what's going to happen with the fat redistribution over the 3 years that it takes the nerve to heal? So
exactly. I just don't I'm afraid that that's not the godsend answer you're looking for. I think that staying as low carb as you possibly can, slowly but surely becoming more and more physically active, even though that's painful. I know. You've got to push against that pain, not to the point where you injure yourself, but you definitely got to push against that. Lipedema can be a lot like fibro in that respect, fibromyalgia, where it just hurts to do anything. Your skin hurts, your fat hurts, everything hurts, but you got to push against that. And there will come a time when you reap the reward of that and you'll have less pain. And I think the neuropathy will slowly get better as well. But lipedema, liposuction, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Here's Morlana Prime, 32-year-old male, fit. Like fit in the British sense or fit? I'm just playing. Total cholesterol greater than 1,000. HSCRP 8.8, which is high, that's an issue. Trigs greater than 200, which is high. That's an issue. Developing xanthelasma around my eyes and xanthomas on the tendons of my knuckles. I've been eating ketovore style diet for years. Seeing a doc on Wednesday. So almost certainly, Morlana Prime has a genetic issue here. Yeah. If you've been true ketovore and you still have triglycerides over 200 and then the total cholesterol greater than 1,000, that's pretty rare as well. Almost certainly you've got some kind of inherited lipid disorder is what it sounds like to me. And so you may have to make some changes. You may have to go back more keto. Still adequate fat, but maybe not as high fat as you've been eating. But there's more to this picture here. I wish that you were a member of our private community so I could ask you more questions and you could answer them, because there's something fishy here. Either a genetic issue or you're saying ketovore, but your definition and my definition differ. Yeah, don't you think?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Here's Jammer Travels. What is your take on nicotine for healing various diseases? Not smoking, but nicotine patches or nicotine lozenges or something like that. I haven't seen any research about nicotine healing medical conditions. Now, there are many, many people who use nicotine therapeutically for ADHD, for just to focus as a nootropic. I've seen that, and I think there's some research to support that, but millions of anecdotal cases of that. Do you recommend that, or do you condone it, or do you allow it? If somebody says, yeah, I use, like Zen or whatever, because it helps my ADHD, what would be your...
Yes, I think most of the research came out of Vanderbilt, actually, in their cognitive clinic that was there. They're studying it more, I think, on the Alzheimer's side of things and not the ADHD side of things. if someone wants to use it, I'm not opposed to it. But my general rule with any supplement or alternative treatment, alternative to the conventional treatment, that is, if you try it and you're not seeing grand benefits from it, if it's just okay, then don't continue to put something else in your body that could have an adverse effect down the road. What else could be happening? Is there any sort of stiffening to the blood vessels over time from the frequent stimulation or what? I don't know.
Exactly.
I just don't know.
We don't know the long-term ramifications. And so we would caution minimal use, or only use it if it really makes a noticeable difference and it seems to be worth the risk. I think what we're seeing with the nicotine thing, it's what I call the pendulum problem. For years, doctors are like, no nicotine, because it was always tied with tobacco.
Yeah.
And all the tobacco research, it's quite clear tobacco is bad for you. Smoking, dipping, chewing, sticking it up your butthole, whatever, however you use nicotine, it's bad for you. Okay, it's not good for you. But now we're able to isolate the nicotine. And so it's not tobacco. But the pendulum, I feel like medical professionals pulled it so far this way that now that it's loose, it's going to swing too far the other direction. And you see people out there, oh, nicotine cures this. Nicotine, I wear a nicotine patch and I use nicotine lozenges and it cures this and that.
I just don't know.
I think you're seeing that pendulum go too far. I think in the middle, there's a rational argument for, I have severe ADHD. I don't want to take methamphetamine, basically. And so I use nicotine pouches or patches or whatever, and it calms my ADHD down. I totally get that argument. And I think that's rational. Now, smoking cigarettes for your ADD, shut up. Just shut up, okay? No. Vaping for your ADHD, they're made in China. Who the hell knows what they're putting in them? They probably use sewer water, literally, because it's cheaper. But the nicotine patches, and I know Tucker Carlson's got his own now that he's branded. His reputation is staked on there not being sewer water in his little nicotine pouches. So I figure probably he pays attention. And they may be made in China, but I bet he's visited the factory. At least I know I would have. And so I think there's an argument for using nicotine for certain things, but I don't think nicotine cures any disease. I think that's a stretch. You agree?
I agree. It's a treatment. It's not a cure.
Exactly right. Yeah, it treats symptoms at most. YD, 35-year-old male, 5'8", started 190 pounds on carnivore diet since the end of August. Now 150 pounds, 40 pounds weight loss in how many months? August. Wow. Fasting shows triglycerides 250, and you were fasting. Okay, that's good. HDL still low at 35, LDL 200. Cholesterol 270. Why triglycerides so high? So about 3 to 5% of people, if they drink coffee the morning of their triglyceride check, their triglycerides will be high. You may be one of those people. I have a YouTube video that talks about the exact chemicals whose names I've forgotten that are in coffee, and it's unfiltered coffee. So filter your coffee. Sometimes that helps. Triglycerides can be an acute phase reactant. If you've got a little bit of infection or inflammation, your triglycerides can go up just like your blood sugar can. What else? I would go back with fresh eyes.
Yeah, and I wonder what they were before he did this. Was he like a
Exactly.
600 kind of guy? And
I bet you
250?
were.
Then woohoo,
Yeah, I
right?
bet you were. I bet your trigs used to be 600 or higher. In which case, congratulations, you're
On your way.
on the way to healing. But the other thing that I would consider is looking at your diet, maybe tracking for a week or two with an app. Every sauce, every condiment, every rub, everything like that, put it in there, because sometimes people think they're carnivore when they're really keto-ish.
And alcohol.
And alcohol. Oh, alcohol will raise your triglycerides 100%. Alcohol, there's nothing healthy about it. It's uniformly bad. Yeah. Good catch. Sorry. I know, but if you're ebullient and happy enough, you don't need alcohol. You can just be happy without it. Unless, the alcoholics easy for you to say. Gen 4 Yahweh Saul only lost 3 pounds being carnivore, intermittent fasting, bioidentical hormones, labs great, belly fat, 157 cholesterol, but 5 out of 10 for prediabetes, exercise, don't sleep well, labs great. I like punctuation. Only lost 3 pounds. How long
Okay.
have you been carnivore?
Yes, but all right, we can get some things out of this. So she's not sleeping well. That
Right.
is going to drive an inability to lose weight.
100%.
You
Yes.
started bioidentical hormones, and while bioidentical hormones are wonderful and can cure a lot of things, a lot of women actually gain weight when they first start them.
Right.
I put it with like when you start your cycle. Okay, your hormones change and things you bloat up. Okay, well, we're giving you hormones after you haven't had them, and while you're going to bloat up, hang with it. It'll get
It's
better.
temporary.
Yes, it
Yes,
gets better.
Absolutely.
But there are some reasons in there why you would have only lost 3 pounds, and I'm going to say congratulations on losing 3 pounds
True.
while doing these things.
Absolutely. Also, are you on the proper dose of the hormones? A lot of docs, bioidentical hormones are super popular right now. A lot of docs and nurse practitioners and PAs are getting into it, but they just took a weekend CME course and you're their first or second or third patient. They may be under treating you because it's still new to them and they're like, I don't want to give them too much. And that's very common. But that's a great point that, anytime you change your hormones, you're going to hold some fluid for a while. And that may be exactly what's going on.
And the sleeping thing.
And the sleeping thing. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know what 5 out of 10, I don't understand what that means. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe different markers.
Punctuation marks next time, Jen. I'm sorry. I can't get anything else out of that. David Rumbelow. Carnivore for 4 months, beef and eggs. I have coffee twice a week with heavy cream only, very limited cheese or none. Something I've noticed recently, my urine is insanely pungent. Any ideas for causes? Pungent urine.
It's sticky.
Yeah. So urine, if concentrated, healthy urine, normal urine, has a urine odor. Yes. And if you pee and then you don't flush it because you're trying to save money and you get up the next morning, you pee again, you're going to smell that 100%. That is not indicative of any known disease. That is not indicative of kidney problems. Concentrated urine just has an odor. Everybody knows this. If your cat pees on your carpet, the way you figure that out is you smell the cat piss. Okay, your cat's super healthy, but their pee still stinks. Now, if you drink enough water that your urine's kind of clear, it won't have much of an odor. But if you just drink when you're thirsty, like I think most people should do, your urine's going to be a darker yellow and it's going to have an odor. That is normal. That's why most animals will go outside of their kind of lay down area to pee because it stinks and they don't like it. So I don't think, go get a urinalysis, go get some blood work, but this is probably not indicative of any disease or condition. Sterling, been doing ketovore for 3 months. 2 weeks ago, doctor said liver enzymes were high. He said fatty liver, it could be, going for ultrasound and blood work, excellent. Will staying on ketovore help? Gallbladder removed 9 years ago. What do you think?
It definitely will.
Yeah, definitely it's going to help. Make sure you're not drinking any alcohol. Make sure you're not taking too much Tylenol or ibuprofen or any of the over-the-counter pain relievers. They can also cause liver enzymes to be high. Typically, in your case, high liver enzymes means you've got fatty liver, but it can mean other things as well. Make sure your doctor checks a full hepatitis panel. Sometimes you can have undiagnosed hepatitis, and that can be what's causing this. Also, syphilis and HIV. I'm not,
we're not saying
anything. I'm just saying all this stuff needs to be checked. A good doctor would know to check that. What else? Yeah, ketovore is low carb enough. Eating fat doesn't make you have fatty liver. A lot of people still believe that because they have not watched this video because you have not shared it with them, and they think that eating fat gives you fatty liver when nothing is further from the truth. Okay. Fatty liver is caused by too many carbs, too much sugar, too much fructose, too much alcohol, too much Tylenol, ibuprofen. That's what causes fatty liver, steatohepatitis, NASH, ultimately cirrhosis and liver failure. That's what causes those things. It's not the fat. Absolutely not. Oh, Jen, forgot 3 months carnivore, not pain. Feel great, feeling frustrated. No, I understand, Jen. Jen's obviously a woman. So I'm going to let you speak to this. Most guys, and this is probably what Jen's saying, when they start carnivore, their weight loss is like
Hmm.
and they're muscly, and they got at least a 2-pack, if not a 4-pack again,
Mhm.
and it just seems to happen very quickly. And then also all the influencers on Instagram, all their shit just happens overnight.
Mhm.
But for some women, I forget how old she says she was. Did you remember?
Um,
But why does it take longer in women? Why should she just take some vitamin P,
Mm.
stands for patience, and just keep doing what she's doing? Talk her down off the ledge.
You know, most of us ladies have yo-yo dieted our entire lives, and that really screws with the metabolism, and it takes some healing time to really re-nourish your body so that it can safely get to a good place with your weight. But she was the one that was perimenopausal, or no, menopausal started
Right. That's right.
by
BHRT. Yeah.
So it's also slower just during that time period as well. I was glad that you're not having pain and that you're seeing some other improvements. And I hear your frustration. It's just a time thing that you're going to have to give your body.
Mm-hmm. And you've lost 3 pounds, and you haven't gained those 3 pounds back. That is for a menopausal woman.
That's big.
That's a victory. Huzzah! I know. It doesn't feel like much, but it is. Thank you, MK. Mosh Hizung. On carnivore diet for 5 months, ate 1 pound of bacon. 2 hours later, still hungry and craving more. Why did you just eat 1 pound? So cooking another pound. Question: better to cook 2 pounds at once? 100% yes. Yes. Listen, I always cook too much food. This is partly just because I came from kind of a food scarcity past. And so anytime I'm ordering in a restaurant, I uniformly order too much food. I'm like, I better get a side of, and Nisha's just looking at me like, what is wrong with you? Or if I cook, I'll cook 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 pounds of bacon. I never eat all that.
Yeah.
But if you only cook a pound, what if you're still hungry?
Well, but I never eat bacon by itself. I always have like some eggs or something else that's got a little higher protein, a little lower fat 100%. To give me more of that too. So
beef and bacon, eggs and bacon, 100%. Yeah. Get some ground beef and bacon, steak and bacon, whatever, and bacon. Yeah, absolutely. But 1 pound is not enough for a growing boy. You need more than 1 pound of meat. Absolutely. All right. Let's see what else we got going on over here. Wait a minute. Come back here. Chris Cooking Nashville says, cooking too much food is like how I make my living now. Ask anyone who comes to our house to eat. Totally understood. Yeah. Are you like that, Chris? Do you like every time you cook too much and your wife is like, dude, what are you doing? And you're like, well, you never know. You might need it.
I have a 16-year-old in my house. We never have too
You never have too much food. Nisha, she said the other day we were talking, she said, if I were going to food prep for a week, how much bacon would I have to cook for us to have enough bacon for all week for all 4 of us? And we came up with probably 14, 15 pounds of bacon. If we were going to prep bacon for the full week, because she's cooked 4 pounds before. Yeah. And it's gone. But I suspect that on day 2, 3, 4, we would kind of burn out.
Burn out a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm thinking 15 pounds for a family of 4 would be prepping a week of bacon. How much bacon do you guys cook at a time? Tell me in the comments. I want to see. Yeah, and also I'm like Jill. I love having leftovers. I love leftovers very often better than the original cook. Do you like leftovers?
I mean, it's just a necessity of life, I feel like.
But do you like tolerate them?
Depends on what it is.
My wife, Nisha, she could literally cook a Michelin dinner. Oh my God. She won't touch the leftovers. Really? She just will not touch. We could eat at a Michelin star restaurant and bring home. She's not going to eat that.
More for you.
I'll 100%. I eat every leftover in this house and I love it and I'm here for it and I'm proud of it. But you just tolerate them.
I mean, it really depends on what it is.
So, wait, here's Serena. Serena said, I cooked 3 pounds of bacon and it was gone in 2 days with 2 of us eating. Yeah. Let's see what Coach Alyssa. She says, I hate leftovers. This is why Nisha and I are friends. Who else? Do you guys hate leftovers? Like, it's like a treasure hunt. When you go to the fridge, I'm ADHD, so I have no damn idea what's in our fridge right now. I literally could not tell you. But I go look and I find leftovers. It's like, hot damn. I thought that was all gone. It's like I hit a little baby jackpot.
Yeah.
But Nisha's like,
I learned something about leftovers last week.
what'd you learn?
It was that condition that I called you about, the mast cell disease.
Activation, yeah.
Yeah, that leftovers actually can increase histamine, the reheating of
100%. Yep,
I
100%.
didn't know that. So if
Yep,
you have
and I
histamine
have-
problems,
yeah.
maybe leftovers are not your thing.
Yes. And now Ellen says she lives for leftovers. My hub's not so much. That's so funny that that's a thing. That's weird, right? Okay, who's
Okay,
this?
real question.
Bits and Saddles, 19-year-old female, been carnivore for 4.5 months. No period cramps, almost no acne, less anxiety, and so much more energy. Carnivore for life.
Sweet.
Y'all focus. Put down your TikTok and look at this comment. 19-year-old female. Acne gone. Period cramps gone. Less anxiety, more energy. Do you know a teenager who has acne or severe period cramps or PMDD? Or who's tired all the time? Take a screenshot of this comment and send it to the teenager that you love and say, this good looking horse riding 19-year-old girl says carnivore is the dog shit. Maybe you should try carnivore for a month or two. Just a thought. I love that. I love it. I love it. Yeah, everybody either loves or hates leftovers. Joan calls them planovers. Planovers. Okay, I like that. Let's see. Yeah, I'm with Keto Simple here. I'm always excited when I see young folks in the chat. And you know, Keto Simple, it seems to me like it's becoming more common. I mean, for the longest time, it was this, 50, 60, 70, 80-year-olds, because that's when most people start caring about their health, is when they have that chest pain, have to go to the ER, or they have that little temporary mini stroke, or they start having neuropathy. Something happens. Or their doc checks and they're like, dude, your A1C is 12. Then they're like, oh shit, I've got to work on my health. But I love it that we've got teenagers and 20-somethings and 30-somethings going, maybe I should start worrying about my health now. Then I wouldn't have to worry about it later.
Yeah.
Are you seeing in your social media and in your clinic, are you seeing kind of a move to younger people being more concerned?
Yeah, right now I'm seeing more of that middle age. So I hate saying middle age,
I know,
but
there's
that
got to be a
30
better
to
term.
40-year-old, the grand age, I know that was, I don't know. 30, 40-year-old, that's what I'm really seeing.
Let's just say that.
Clinic,
yeah. Well, but that's younger than it used to be,
It is.
I think. Yeah,
It is.
absolutely. Let's see what else we got here. We got time for one or two more. And then you still have time to click the share button right now and share this on your social media, because we've answered a lot of good questions tonight that would help a lot of people. Marcia, 3 pounds of bacon lasts her 2 days. Okay. 2 or 3 pounds I'm seeing. I saw it not so nice.
We unleashed
2
the bacon.
not so nice comments there. Is it normal for IgG to be low on carnivore?
Which IgG?
Which IgG? Yeah, first of all, and how low? There's nothing about a carnivore diet that's going to make any of your IgG antibodies dangerously low or unhealthily low. I don't think that's anything to worry
Now,
about.
I have seen, I don't know if you've seen this too, is the total white blood cell count can be lower on people who have been carnivore for a while or proper human diet for a while.
Yep.
And my theory is that we're just in a healthier place,
Less
so we don't
inflamed.
need as many hanging around. You'll still mount an immune defense if you get in contact with strep or something like that. But
Totally agree. There's multiple test results like that I see that are just uniformly a little lower or a little higher in carnivores. But if you think about the physiology, you're like, yeah, I'm not worried about that at all. I think that's probably fine. Here's Brian, down 50 pounds on carnivore in the past year. Is having a cheat meal every 1 or 2 weeks bad for health going in and out of ketosis?
just a little poison.
Just a little poison every week or two. But now, first, okay, Brian, you're down 50 pounds, my friend. Huzzah.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. I don't think if you are the type of person that can have a cheat meal, and that cheat meal doesn't turn into a cheat day or a cheat week, and you're basically cheating on carnivore with keto, like, or you had some fruit or berries, or you had some broccoli. I say,
It's usually not what people call
right.
cheating.
But now, if you mean by cheating, I had a 2-liter Pepsi
Mm.
and a box of honey buns and a family-sized bag of Doritos. Yeah, that's going to not only slow down your progress, but cause a significant spike in inflammation. So, if any of you guys are carnivore and you're like, I want to cheat on keto.
Mhm.
Just, yeah, have some vegetables and nuts and berries. Just throw down, party. But that doesn't mean you want to go back to the slow poison of the ultra processed big food crap. That's poison. Why would you? That's not a celebratory thing. That's just going to harm your health. So don't do that.
Cheating's a very slippery slope. I mean, I've treated
Yes.
people in an obesity clinic for 10 years. And when we start getting that idea in our brain that
Yep.
it's okay to cheat, it creates a different environment, and that cheat leads to the next cheat, and
Yep.
it triggers more cravings. And
Yep.
if you finally got your cravings under control and you still got health to gain,
Mhm.
don't risk it. I would
Right.
not risk it.
If sugar addiction's a problem for you, don't cheat.
Mhm.
If you have an addictive personality type, and that's actually a thing, there are tests for that, then don't do that. If you come from a background of trauma, right, or a background of trauma, stress, bad childhood, no, just don't cheat. Don't do it, because you're more likely to just slide right down that slippery slope that Amanda mentioned, and then you're literally living in a family-sized bag of Doritos, and that's not good for you. Well, that was fun. Yeah. Any final thoughts? If anybody in 23 states needs a primary care provider,
Mhm.
tell them who you are again and how they can get hold of you.
Yeah, I'm Amanda Decker, nurse practitioner, owner of Clear Path Medical, and you can find us at clearpathmedical.net. And if you just want to go ahead and reach out directly, send us an email at contact@clearpathmedical.net. My office manager, Marley, will get back to you.
I love it. If you haven't already shared this, please do so. If you want to start a proper human diet, but you don't know what that means, down in the show notes, you can click a link and get a free copy of the Proper Human Diet Guidebook. And also, if your spouse will not help you to improve your health with diet, if your mama keeps screwing you over by bringing those cookies over to the house, consider joining our private community. Thousands of people from all over the world with one goal, which is to improve their health and to improve the health of everybody in the tribe. There's a link in the show notes. We're there to help you if you need that kind of help. Now, if you're a mountain lion like Brian and you're like, dude, I don't need no help, tell me what to do, then you don't need to waste the money or the time on that. But if you need support, if you need an accountability partner or 2 or 3, or you need daily, weekly, multiple Zoom calls, you can ask questions to kind of calm your mind and soul, consider becoming a member of our private community. There's a link in the comments. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. This was fun. Amanda Decker, clearpathmedical.net. And you can find me where all good keto carnivore doctors hang out. See you next time.